Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Frida and today we are tackling this wall behind me. This is kind of our bar area and I actually made this cabinet not too long ago. I'll put the links here. And to go with it, I also made these shelves. Now, when I put these shelves up, I just felt like something was missing. It wasn't that wow factor that I wanted. This is the first wall you see when you walk into our apartment and I want it to be a statement. I'm originally from Sweden and in Sweden we have a long tradition of wallpaper. It's also quite a lot cheaper. So I had the idea of just when we go home this Christmas, let's bring the big suitcase and let's look at what we can find. And did we find wallpaper? There's so much wallpaper there. You can't compare to Canada. So we brought some wallpaper back. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Let's do this. Okay, everything has been cleared out, or mostly pushed to the side, because when you live in an apartment, there's nowhere to put the furniture. So I'm gonna try to take these down. I'm gonna try to keep the brass brackets on the shelf and just take them off the wall. And we'll see how heavy that's gonna be. But I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Let's do it. These brackets are solid brass brackets and I absolutely love them. Though they came with these really crappy screws. Also, like, I think 2 of them broke while I was installing them. So good opportunity to switch out for better quality screws. I am 1000% not doing these flathead screw back in here. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna ask for help for the top one because I'm too short for this. I only spackled the holes I'm not using anymore from the previous shelf that was here. I'm keeping the holes that are for the current shelf's brackets because I want to put it back exactly where it was. We'll see how I figure out how to find these holes once I put the wallpaper up. So as you can see, this wall is painted like a dark gray and we kept this one white. But since we are wallpapering this, I'm gonna go in and fill in some dark gray in this corner. You don't want to see any white sticking out into this wall. Like we have gray then white and then wallpaper, it's gonna look wrong. So I'm gonna make sure I fill this corner with gray as well as paint in between where the wallpapers are gonna go. So in case they separate just a little bit, there is not a white gap in the back. So I'm gonna paint it to a similar color to the background. It'll be close enough. It just won't be white, which is good. I should put my hair up. Well, as you can see in the foreground, it's a bit of a mess in here. But it's just gonna be a few days until this is done and then we're back to normal. So the fun of doing home projects. It's snowing so much outside. It's like a snow day today. Ew. Okay, I'm gonna fix that. Hold. Okay, so I have a sample from when we were figuring out which color to pick for the wall, so I'm just gonna use that to get the corner. Yeah, useful you have. So I'm going to mark where I want to put my background color. My wallpaper is approximately 53 centimeters. So you want to make sure that you give yourself space for overlap in the corner. If you're continuing the wallpaper, you don't have to cut it, but if you aren't, you want to cut it. That is because ceilings and walls are never straight. Don't ever assume that they are. With time, buildings settle, everything gets crooked. So never trust ceilings or walls to be straight. So you want to give yourself a little bit of overlap. I'm gonna give myself about an inch or three-ish centimeters overlap. So I'm gonna start my first wallpaper at 50 centimeters in, which is here. So then I will have about 3 centimeters overlap on the corner that I can then cut off. The next one starting here, so on. So I'm gonna line up my laser level with a smart. 1 second. You don't need a laser level for this. I just got this one because I've been so excited to get one, and I know I'm gonna use it for a lot of projects. So I have one, but you could just use a normal level up against the wall. Make sure you have it straight and draw lines. That works just as fine. So let's paint some gap colors, and then I think we're done for today. We'll let it dry overnight. Okie dokie. Everything is prepped. I marked where these ones are, so I know how to find them again. I have my clothes that I don't mind if I get wallpaper adhesive on. I got my hair up. I'm ready to roll. Let's put this wallpaper up. Remember to remove the outlet covers and turn off the breakers before you wallpaper. And for extra peace of mind, double check the power is off with a voltage checker. Oh, I hit my funny bone. I hit my funny bone. I thought a funny bone is funny. Yeah. I got all the supplies. Got my rollers, got my brush, mixing stick, got my glue. This should be enough for this wall. I also have this, which is technically for pre-pasted wallpaper that you want to wet before you put up. But how I was taught and how we do it a lot in Sweden is that we put our wallpaper into a tray like this, and then you put the wallpaper close to the wall. Instead of pre-cutting every one, you just have the wallpaper steady in some kind of container. You can just pull it up, and then when it gets down, you cut it off. Unfortunately, I have a radiator here, so I can't get as close to the wall as I would like, but hopefully this will still work, and if it doesn't, I'll pre-cut the next piece. So that's the plan. Are you ready to see the wallpaper? And this is what she looks like. It's beautiful. It must be this way. When I said I have everything, I actually didn't have everything. I also need an X-Acto blade. Get the ones that you can snap off, because then you can have a fresh blade for every single cut. To cut straight, they recommend like a metal ruler. I don't have that, but I do have a straight edge guide, so I'm going to use this. I also have this one to smooth down the wallpaper with, as well as a sponge and water to wipe off any excess glue or any glue that gets on top of the wallpaper. So it should have everything. We'll see though. For the glue, use a brush to cut in around the edges and corners and a roller for the rest. I'm just gluing one strip at a time. Place the tray with the wallpaper in it underneath where you want to install your strip and as close to the wall as you can. Then grab the end of the wallpaper and pull it up to the ceiling. Make sure to overlap to accommodate for an uneven ceiling. Follow your laser line or your level line to make sure it stays straight, and then use the wallpaper scraper to smooth it out. Use a downwards motion like if you're drawing a Christmas tree. When you get to the bottom, cut it off from the roll with a scissor, and make sure to leave extra length though, so you can cut your final straight line with the blade after. Now this is why this method of having the wallpaper underneath in a tray works so well. It's like having an extra set of hands, keeping it straight at the bottom. To find the outlet, just use your fingers and cut with a sharp blade. Start small, you can always cut more. The outlet covers will cover a lot of mistakes, so just take your time and be careful. Then break a fresh blade and use your straight edge or ruler to cut the end off. Make sure to put some pressure towards the straight edge so you are making sure you're gliding along it. A fresh sharp blade for every cut is key to not rip the wallpaper. And if you're like me and you didn't get through the first time, just go over it again on the same line. It should be fine. If you get any glue on top of your wallpaper, just gently clean it up with a wet sponge or a soft cloth. The corner was a little tricky, so I used my scissor to make just a small diagonal cut to be able to push it in fully, making sure I don't cut into the wallpaper that's going to stay on the wall. Don't be afraid to adjust it if you need to. The wallpaper should be able to handle it. Just be gentle. And just like for the top and bottom edges for the corner, use your straight edge and cut along it for a straight, even edge. And this is a good example that ceilings are not straight. You can see that it dips up a little here, showing a little gap, but the wallpaper is straight. Okay, this will be the simplest one, just straight down, and then this one will probably be the hardest one, because I need to get a straight angle there, cut along there, light socket there, and like the bottom, so we got this. Save the hardest for last when I practice, so that's good. Yes, let's get this one up. So I've been umming and ahhing about how I'm going to tackle this one. Like, do I want to cut the wallpaper before so it's smaller and easier to work with? Or do I put it up and cut it afterwards? And I actually think I'm not going to cut it in advance. I feel like it's going to be harder making that work. I could measure, I could probably pre-cut. I don't know. This might be a mistake. I have more wallpaper if this really messes up. But, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it everything, put it up, and then I'm going to cut along the little jut in for the door. So I'm going to cut along there. And at the top where it doesn't jut in, I'm just going to pull it back out, like loosen it from the wall, take the scissor and cut that little piece and then stick it back. And that will give me a good idea of where I need to cut. Like it's so small, it's only a little bit, so even if it ends up being a little crooked, I think I'll live with it, but who knows, we'll see. If this doesn't work, I'll do it again with another piece. Not 100%. You know what, that's not bad though. I managed to cut this whole intricate piece. And I didn't press record. Anyways, it's done. And it was, I don't know, kind of like the puzzle solving of it. Oh my gosh. Nice. It's done. It took me maybe 2 3 hours. 3 hours maybe? That's not bad. I thought it was gonna take me like at least an hour per. It's very grandma chic right now, but I kind of like it. I mean, it's for sure a statement. That is without a doubt. Honestly, first time wallpapering, I kind of like it. Is that weird? Like, I actually enjoyed this process. I had fun. I think it was fun to figure out like the problem solving of the corners and stuff. And when it's dry tomorrow, I might go in and cut or just sandpaper just the edge to the window, because there is like a millimeter where it's sticking out. I'm gonna try to find those holes I marked before I remove the tape. Okay, clean up all of that. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. What do you think? What do you think? Do you like it? Do we have your approval? Huh? Cat hair everywhere. It's coming out this morning to see the wallpaper all up and like kind of forgetting that I did this yesterday. It was so dope. I have my partner help me put this one up because I'm too short. It's too heavy. So that one's up already. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to put all the things in, all the styling in. I also have another little DIY I want to make that I might tackle today if I have time. But for now, let's put some things back into its place. I'm going to put this shelf up as well. Oh, and I want to maybe see if I can trim out the corner a little bit better than I did yesterday. Yeah. Let's put everything back. You smell like a fish. I don't know if you can see, but here, hidden, I put pins in where the bracket holes are so I can find them and put the shelf up in the same place as it was before. Same on the other side. But they're pretty hidden like this actually. Need to be able to do there, there. Good. You need to use your face as a way to hold the shelf. I feel like it should have been 2 people, you know? And I should mention these are into studs too. That's why I'm just using wood screws, except for that top left corner. That one is a plug. Shelves are back up. Jesus. We're fine. Everything's fine. Shelves are up. It's looking great. Theodore is screaming at me to play with him, so I'm taking a break. Let's go play with Theo and then get back to the project. This is working so well. It's actually really, really nice. I love it when an idea just pan out. So I mentioned this DIY that I would like to do. And I recently took apart a table. I like to reuse wood as much as I can, so I tend to sometimes buy tables to take them apart to use for wood. And this particular table had support pieces that look like this, which is such a nice shape. I wanted to take this piece, router out a groove in it, so we could display whatever record we're listening to at the moment on it. Something like this. I think it would look really nice. And then we have our record player right underneath. But how cool would that be? I really like it. And it's like art, you know? Using your records as art. So it's a cool way to reuse these. I also do have 4 of these, so if I mess one up, I can always, you know, just use another one. I was so excited heading down to the workshop to make this DIY record shelf, only to realize that I don't have the right rotor bit, so I'll have to go and get it and probably finish this on the weekend instead. Okay, this gloomy, rainy, dark days make it really hard to film in this dark corner now. I really need to get a light. So I want to put a frame on the top shelf behind whatever I'm going to put on there. Yeah, it feels kind of nice. It feels proportionate. I kind of like that the frame is brighter. So I don't know if you know this, but the Met Gallery actually has open source art that you could just download and you can print yourself. So I have found 2 pieces that I think would really work for this. I want it to be something, like I normally like kind of dark and moody art, but I think for this wall, because it is already quite dark and moody, it needs something light, it needs something fun. I'm gonna try printing it out on our printer first, and then if the quality doesn't really work, then I'll just go to probably Staples and have it printed. I'm excited for the styling part. Everything's in place. I am more of a, I'm not a maximalist, but I like to have things that I love out on display, but I want them to be beautiful things. My partner is a little bit more minimalist, so I'm gonna try to land somewhere in between. So a good rule of thumb is start with the big objects first and then fill out from there. It's a mix of his stuff and my stuff, things we picked up together on travel, so yeah. Start with the big things, go from there. Our artwork. In Sweden we call these tråg. I don't know what to call it in English. I stole it from my parents. It has like a stamp and everything. It's super old and it's gorgeous with old paint inside. Now something that has to go up on this shelf is my partner's award. I did the baking soda and paint trick on this one, and I used the same color as our wall color. So I think that would be pretty nice to bring in that to here. And just these are just some grasses I picked up at the end of the summer. So that's a dark object, so maybe I need a dark object here to kind of draw your eye across. This is also gray. I've had my eye on this plant for up here. And we can bring in the green from there with this diffuser. I feel like we definitely need like brighter things now. It's a lot of dark. Okay, another thing I picked up in Sweden is this beautiful old bowl. It has like a yellow paint on the outside, and it's kind of reminiscent of that yellow, so I wonder if bringing that up here will do that, move your eye across. This is from Fiji or Samoa when I went there, I'm not sure. Maybe it needs to face the opposite of that. What do we think? I really love it. It's such a statement. It's just changed the feel of this space so much. Still need to do that little shelf, and that's just gonna be the cherry on top. Let's jump to this weekend where I finish this shelf, and then we'll roll the afters. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you here again soon. Hej då!